glad that you're here. I'm David Gilmore, known as LDS Prepper. This is my wife.
Hello, everybody.
Her name is Sue. Let me see if I can get your head more into the frame. And we are excited that you're here to talk about the Global Reset Preps list. First thing, you want to grab a paper, pencil, pen, something to take notes, your tablet, your phone, but we're going to be giving a lot of information, links that we want to share with you. So you're going to want to write these things down. So as we just get started, go ahead and make sure that you grab something to take notes on. It'll be critical. So this is something that I think is very timely, and we're not sure exactly what's going to happen, but I've got my laptop down here, and I'm just going to flip to, what is the Great Reset? What is the Global Reset? What can we expect from that? So I am at the World Economic Forum, and I'm just reading off their website. It says the Great Reset, and this is a quote: "The pandemic represents a rare but narrow window of opportunity to reflect, reimagine, and reset our world." That is a quote from Professor Klaus Schwab, founder and executive chairman of the World Economic Forum. So doing a little bit more research, what does that look like? I went to YouTube. I love YouTube. I call it YouTube University. It's where I go to learn things. And they actually have, the World Economic Forum has a channel there. And I watched their video on kind of their synopsis of the Great Reset. And in that video, they say capitalism as we know it is dead. So that's probably a pretty good foundation to kind of consider what can you expect in the reset if capitalism is dead. How would that look different? So I'm just going to get back to my screens here so I can see your comments and questions. And push the right buttons. There we go. First of all, I'd like to welcome everybody here. We have too many people for me to, welcome you individually, but thank you very much for being here. We feel that this will be well worth your time. It's something that we have worked on for years, which you'll see. I apologize if there's buffering. However, we're having some pretty heavy rainstorms right now, and that may affect the quality of the video. So let's get into this. First of all, we do have a Global Reset Preps list outline, and it came off of our list that we started in 2016. So you can download that list free. You just go to ldsprepper.com/reset list, and that will give you a Word document that you can just download on your computer. I can also make it a PDF. What do you want, honey?
This is the one that you downloaded?
I know, I changed it.
You changed, okay, good.
Because I have spelling arrows on here?
No, because I used a house renovation checklist as a template. And so under transportation, it used to say paint the powder room and install the powder room baseboards. That was just a leftover from the previous list that didn't get deleted.
That isn't really high on your priority list for the Global Reset, to paint the powder room?
Especially not under transportation.
Okay. So I did clean up the list. We had the same categories on the list that you can download, and it's a couple pages. But anyway, so paint the powder room is not on their list. Okay. So this isn't a comprehensive list. This is just to get you started and get you thinking. Now, the reason why we have a list is because my wife and I had a conversation. Okay. Oh, someone wants the link here. So let me just do that. ldsprepper.com/reset list. Okay. I put that in the comments there. When I give you a link, I will put it in the comments. that's a great suggestion. Thank you for suggesting that. Okay, so this is we want to have a conversation with you. We're going to have a conversation with us. There's some questions that were posted from my intro video, and we'll go over those questions. So, and we've got a lot of things here. And remind me at 9:30, I'm supposed to call Ben. Okay, so we're just going to show you what we did. So we have, just kind of give you an idea, this was our prep list that we started in 2016. And you can see, fortunately, that there are a lot of check marks on there. So when we sat down, when was it, last Monday?
Yeah, but this list we created in 2016 of the things that we needed to do. We had already done a lot.
Yeah.
And this is what we still needed to do.
Yep.
So it's not comprehensive.
Not at all. Okay, this is just us making a list from from our preps. We've been preparing for economic collapse, for unemployment, for health issues, for whatever could happen. I mean, I'm 62. I've been laid off more than one job. We were kids in college when we got married. We've had a whole life experiences that we've been trying to prepare for. So, we're talking about the global reset or the Great Reset here, but anything could happen to reset your situation. So, this isn't a political conversation here. This is just, hey, what do I need to do if something happens? But at any rate, so this was our list from 2016 that we're kind of like, oh, we need to do this because we haven't done this yet. Okay. It's upside down. It's not upside down.
Up there, it's upside down.
All right. So we had, for example, under fuel, rotate gasoline in the garage. So I store gasoline. I actually store it in our garden shed outside. I keep it outside from our attached garage. I think that's the safe thing to do. So I noticed on the list, rotate gasoline. Well, we went to go get gasoline cans. They are crazy expensive. I couldn't believe what gasoline cans were. So we went to a big box store. We went to Walmart. We went to Costco. We went to Sam's Club. Home Depot. And Cal Ranch, local feed store, and finally bought some 5-gallon gas cans, but they're $20 a gas can. So if you're going to rotate gas, you need to have gas cans. So do you have a gas can? How many gas cans do you have? Okay, do you have enough gas cans? Are you rotating them? When I buy the gas, I take some blue tape and I put the date that I bought the gas on. And so I'm rotating that every year. Now, I also put the price of the gas when I bought it. And it's quite interesting to see what the price of the gas is now compared to what it was a year ago. So something I think we're going to see in the Great Reset is significant price increases. I was reading the Wall Street Journal report that grocery store owners are stockpiling supplies in the back. So because the prices are going so fast, they don't want to be increasing the pricing on to the customers as fast as the prices are going up on their end. So they're stockpiling because they're only getting about 80%, according to this report, of what they're ordering, and what they're ordering is going up. And I'm experiencing that myself as an authorized Berkey dealer. Berkey has raised their prices 20%, and they haven't raised them for years, but they finally had to raise them because the cost of going up. Availability has been an issue. They are now all available. You can get your Berkey water filtration system at my store, ldsprepperstore.com. There's another link, ldsprepperstore.com. And you can, first of all, you can know that whatever I have on my website is currently available, unless it says sold out. The Imperials and the Crowns, I talked to my Berkey rep, and he just said, due to the supply chain issues, those are, you're just not going to see them available. So I would get a travel Berkey, a big Berkey, or a royal Berkey. I don't know if you can see our Berkey behind. Yeah, there's our Berkey is behind us right here, over there,
Over my head.
over there. Okay, we're out on well water, and we filter all our water. And when we were in Houston and we were on city water, we filtered all our water, our cooking water, our drinking water. We filtered all. So make sure you grab your Berkey water filter. That is my number one prep, besides my emotional and spiritual state, is water filtration. And when we travel, we take our sports bottle. This has been with us. This one says David, because I want to make sure I get my bottle. Sue has her own bottle. We actually have backup bottles, but this has been with us in China, in Russia, in Utah, Middle East, wherever we travel, Mexico,
Central
America, all over. This goes with us, and this, I forget how many hundreds of times you can refill this. I've had this for probably 10 years, and I'm still using it. It's really easy to know when this stops working, is because when it stops filtering, because it stops working. You can't suck any water through it. So highly recommend the sports bottle. This is our get up and go grab. If we're leaving the house, take this bottle with us. Here at home, I have this bottle. I probably have had this for 10 years
or more.
And this is just a water bottle I picked up at REI. And I just take the water from the Berkey and put it in there. So water filtration is extremely important. The number one death across the world, 365 days a year, is people dying from tainted water. So water availability is generally okay. Water purity is the issue. So make sure you get something to filter your water. This is not scripted. We've got lots of things here we're just going to be sharing with you. So make sure you grab your Berkey. I would recommend, and I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on water filtration systems. And the only one I recommend, the only one I use, the only one that our family uses, is the Berkey water filtration system with the black filters. If you are concerned about fluoride and arsenic filters, I also have those on the website. So everything you need comes in the box. So if you want to get a stainless steel spigot, yes, you can get that, but a high quality plastic spigot comes in with it. Everything you need in there. If you want to get a stand, those are out of stock right now. When they are available, I'll put them back on my website. But I would recommend getting a Royal Berkey with 4 filters. We have our system here with 2 filters, but we have backup filters in our pantry, because if our grandkids knock this off, or we have an earthquake and it falls over and those filters break, I want to have backup. That's just the mindset of being a preparedness-minded person. So you can go to LDS Pepper Store and get your Berkey water filtration systems. We had a severe supply issue. Berkey did in over the last year. They are now in stock. The travel, the big, and the royal. It's just a quantity difference. So travel, you get 1.5 gallons. Big Berkey, you get 2.5 gallons, and royal, you have 3.5 gallons. So water filtration, extremely important. So as we're talking about the Great Reset, just pretend that you're going to go on a camping trip for a year, and you need to get the supplies you'll take for camping. Or you have a family cabin up in the mountain, and you're going to go up there for a year, and you're going to grow your food, and you're going to, everything you need is going to be on that property. And we're talking to people who live in apartments in the city. We're talking to people who live in the county, and people have larger property. Like we have 2.5 acres here now. However, when we were in Houston, we were in a gated community. We'll talk about that. So just think about what you're going to need if you're going to be needing to survive with no resources for a year. And that's what we're getting. All right. So you've got the list here. We're not going to go down the list one by one, but for fuel, we bought new gas cans and we filled them up and we rotate those. You can also put what's called stable in the gas to make it last longer than a year. I don't put stable in it because I'm rotating it every year. You can expect, I would imagine, in a reset where there's capitalism as we know it is dead, that prices are going to go up on everything, and literally everything, and availability will become very restricted and controlled. So availability will be, set on certain items that you have to qualify in order to get to buy and sell and so forth. So if you don't have to buy or sell for a year, what do you need to have on hand? So we have here home, see, fuel, rotate gas, propane. All right. So we have propane tanks that we have stored, buried under the ground, and we refilled those. When they came and refilled them about a month ago, he said, "This is what you use for a year?" I said, "Yes." He says, "That's not very much." I said, "That's because we have a wood burning stove, because the propane is primarily for the furnace and clothes dryer, cooking. Yeah. So we put in a wood burning stove. So that really dropped the use of the propane down during winter. And we bought a very, very efficient stove. Actually had to drive all the way to Wyoming to get that stove. We'll talk about that later. Inventory of butane. So if you want to cook inside the house and you don't have electricity, because you don't qualify to get electricity after the Great Reset, or it just isn't available, then you want to use propane, you want to use butane inside the house, not propane. You don't want to use camping stoves in the house. Those will leak, and you can kill yourself. So butane, buy 5 gas cans. So we got that, and that was checked off. Okay, home defense. I don't know if I have a link for this, but I have a video. And this is the home defense. This is our security system that we use. All right. And this is not attached to any service. I'm not a fan of services. I mean, you can, I'm just sharing my personal experience. But that has all the sensors on the doors and the windows, and it has motion sensors. So we know when a door or window opens on our house, and we know exactly which door or window opens, and we can set, we have the alarm set so we can hear that throughout the house. What about security cameras? We have security cameras in the house. We have security cameras pointing outside of our house, on the outside. We have security cameras pointing into the property, so I can see the greenhouses, I can see the solar panels, I can see when people approach. We had some people come yesterday, and they pulled up to the driveway, and I was just waiting for them at the front door because I knew before they ever put the car in park that they were on the property. So you need to be aware. Being aware, let's talk about that in a second. So we got a security system, and then we have an alarm system, and then we have a video surveillance system. Okay. We also have motion sensors on our property that can detect 2-legged and 4-legged animals coming across our property line. Sends us an alarm so that we know when someone's on the property. And these will all work whether you have a small property or large property. So just go and look for motion sensors or security perimeter sensors online. Let's see. Also, home defense inventory: ammo, buy precision rifle, buy bulletproof vest, install security system, finish the basement. Finish the basement. That must have been off the. But anyway, so whatever you want to use for self-protection. Not everybody is interested in having a firearm, which I totally understand. Sue and I are. We have hundreds of hours of training and thousands of hours in training. So not only do we carry concealed, but we also have a lot of training and continue to practice on a daily basis with dry fire. So if you're looking for a non-lethal item, I would highly recommend this. I recommended this about a month or two ago, and they completely sold out. Okay. This is a flashlight. So you can see here, it's just a regular flashlight. But this is a stun gun. This is a great non-lethal way to protect yourself. It has a safety switch on the back that you can just turn the stun gun on or off. I have it on now, and there's a button right here. So if you're out walking your dog or whatever, you have this in your purse, you have this in your car, and you feel threatened, you just set that to stun, and this is what happens. Okay. That isn't enough to, I mean, you would just push that right onto somebody, okay? And that isn't enough to kill them. We don't want to kill anybody if we don't have to, but we are protecting ourselves. But that's enough to stop them. This is super lightweight. It's made out of aircraft aluminum, super lightweight. It has a rechargeable battery in it. You get thousands of recharges. I bought 10 of these. I bought 11 of these, okay? So highly recommend you can get this at ldsprepper.com/flashlight, or you can just go to the LDS Prepper store, and I have a whole section on free items you can use to protect yourself. So let me put that in the link, ldsprepper.com/flashlight. Okay. I got this for free. This is a $70 stun gun flashlight. You can get it for free. Why they have them last, I don't know if they have any left, but go to ldsprepper.com/flashlight, and all you do is pay for shipping. It was like $12 for shipping. Now, when you go there, they have some other things already checked. Just make sure you uncheck the bonuses that you get. So you're just paying for shipping. It's so like $12 or $15. Really, really worth it. Obviously, I bought several of these. I highly recommend this if you're looking for a non-lethal way to protect yourself. Very, very effective. Okay, that's going to stop somebody. Hold that onto them for anywhere from 1 to 3 seconds. That's going to drop them down. It's going to give you time to get away. So make sure you have your shelter protected and that you have yourself protected when you're away from your shelter, your home. All right, the next thing we have is garden supplies. In a reset, and when we look at other countries that have gone through this, no longer capitalism as the primary source for the country, what we find is that food is the most valuable thing. It's more valuable than gold and silver. So let me just ask you this. Do you garden? Do you enjoy gardening? Do you have some plants growing? But let me ask you this. Are you gardening as if your life depends on it? Can you grow food as if your life depends on it? Because I know we have a lot of hobby gardens, and those are great, and that's a good skill builder. But if you can't buy food because it's not available, or because you don't have the income to buy it, or because it's too expensive, and you have to spend money on rent or your mortgage or whatever, can you grow food as your life depends on it? You can see the squash behind us. That's on the counter for breakfast.
Well, you can barely see it.
Okay, yeah, there's a squash right there. I picked this up from our food storage this morning. This is from last year. We grew this last year. This is what, 8, 9, 10 months old. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
So this probably cost us a few pennies to grow. And we've been able to there's still a bunch more down there. And we have a bunch more that we're growing in our garden. So can you grow food as if your life depends on it? Well, I don't really care how you grow food, but there are 6 laws of plant growth that you have to understand. So watch my video on how to grow food as if your life depends on it. Make sure you watch that video. One of those laws is nutrition. As we have gone through our gardening experience, and as we look at other people's gardens, we see the number one problem they have is nutrition. Those plants are starving to death. Even if they're composting or mulching or bringing in manures, you don't have the right amount, you don't have the right balance. So if you want to grow food as if your life depends on it, and you want to be able to have that, you do that in an apartment or an HOA or property, make sure that you get the LDS Prepper Premium Micronutrient Mix. And this has all of the micronutrients that you need to grow plants healthy. So This comes with two 10-ounce bags. This will make 60 pounds of plant food, all natural, 100% natural plant food. This is crushed rock. It has an indefinite shelf life. And this has the magnesium and the sodium and the boron, the manganese, zinc, iron, copper, molybdenum, and so forth that are very difficult and very expensive to get. So I provide these for you. You just buy these packages, and then you get the nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium from your local hardware store or feed store, so forth. You mix that together, and you've got 60 pounds of property balanced, all natural food. Please watch that plant food. Please watch the video, how to grow food as if your life depends on it. Now you're going to need if I just gave you a bunch of ingredients to make chocolate chip cookies, and you've never made chocolate chip cookies before, or brownies, you wouldn't know what ratios to use and how to do it. So absolutely make sure that you grab the, I thought I had another one here.
Right here.
Oh. This is my copy. You can see it's a little dented up, but anyway, grab yourself the Mint-Ladder Gardening Course book. You can get this at ldsprepper.com, ldsprepperstore.com. This is a step-by-step how to grow food as if your life depends on it. If you have a very small space, if you have very little time, if you have very limited water, this book teaches you how to grow food as if your life depends on it. And I take the time and I do autograph it. The book is $24.95 right now. So in 100 years, this will be worth $24.95 with the autograph in it. But this can literally save your life. If you have the Mint-Ladder Gardening Course book and the LDS Prepper Premium Micronutrient Mix, and you're learning how to grow food, that could literally save your life and provide an income for you. It cost me 2 cents for all the plant food that I mix and feed to my tomato plants, and I sell those 2 cents per tomato, and I sell those tomatoes for $4 a pound. It cost me 2 cents to grow a tomato, and I sell that for $4 a pound. That's a pretty good return on investment. If you purchase the micronutrients, you purchased 8 of these, I pay for the shipping. That's going to save you anywhere between $12 and $18. Some people will buy 2 packets of 8 or 3 packets of 8, and so they're saving $30 or more on shipping. Order the Mint-Ladder Gardening Course book at the same time. I'll put that in there for you at the end. When you order the book with the micronutrients, with 8 micronutrients or more, then I pay for the shipping for the whole order. So pick that up at the LDS Prepper store. So my wife and I sat down. We went through this list last Monday, and then we went shopping. We hit Home Depot, Sam's Club,
Cal
Ranch,
Costco.
And this was our Costco list. Yeah, we had a few things on our list that we needed to get. And then this is our Walmart list. We got the gas cans at Walmart. Here we went over to Cal Ranch, and I don't know if that focuses. This is what we picked up at Cal Ranch. And it was kind of surprising what we didn't have. So what didn't we have? Well, I didn't have windshield wipers for my truck. They're worn out. So I bought some windshield wipers because I needed the windshield wipers. Surprisingly enough, at Home Depot, I do not own a handsaw. Can you believe that? Why own a handsaw when you have an electric saw? Okay, I bought a handsaw. What if I don't have electricity? I have our bag here from Home Depot. What else did I buy? I bought a set of gloves. It's 9:30. One of the things I want to talk to you about is communications. Communications is paramount. What we have, we got stuff all over the place here. Where's my Faraday bag? Here it is. Anything with electronics, you want to protect it from an EMP. So we have these in the Faraday bag. You can get these at ldsprepper.com/Titan. So let me put that in there. And a Faraday bag will protect your ldsprepper.com/Titan. That will protect your electronics from an EMP, whether it's from an atomic bomb or from the sun. Anyway, so inside of here, I've got my charger for my ham radio. I've got my ham radio in here. Of course, it doesn't do any good just to have one ham radio. You want to have someone to talk to. And then the antenna, took the antenna off to make it fit better. I have this already pre-programmed to the local frequencies that we use here in this area. You need a license for that. It's a $14 license and a simple test. Sue scored 100% on her test. She's never had even picked up a ham radio. They had 3 people check it because they couldn't believe that she got 100% on the test. I passed. If I would have gotten one more question wrong, I would have failed. So we both are licensed. It's worth it. This is a FRS radio, a family radio you can pick up. What we have experienced is in a communications issue that the FRS radios are given to all the kids in the neighborhood. So if you have emergency information you need to transmit to your neighbors or whatever, this is not very, very practical at all. So ham radio is much better, but you're only able to talk to ham radio operators. So in addition to that, what I have done is we now, both Sue and I, have satellite phones, right? And you can get the satellite phones. We have a special promotion going on right now at ldsprepper.com/satphone. Let me make sure that's right. LDS Prepper. Did I do something wrong? ldsprepper.com/satphone. Yes, and that to get you to the podcast promo where they'll actually send you this $800 phone free, and you just have the monthly subscription. What I like about this is that we won't go a lot into this. There's a lot of information. There's 2 different satellite networks on the planet. Some of them, one of them. I like this because once I have a lock, then I don't lose the lock. How big is this? Well, here's my wife's phone. This is a Samsung 9 or 8. Okay, so it's a nice small size. I need to call my son. He's out camping right now. I'm just going to turn on my sat phone. I'm going to step outside and let Sue talk for a minute.
About what?
Anything you want. And I'm going to step outside because I need to be able to get reception. So you can see it's charging up. But I need to be outside and point this south to get connection. And I can call any mobile phone. I can call any satellite phone. There are no international charges. I get 150 hours a minute, and they roll over, indefinitely. So I got my phones now. I'm not in an emergency right now, but I'm kind of banking my minutes, and so I get a free sat phone. Last time I heard, last Saturday, they only had 500 less left. They're having a supply chain issue getting the circuitry for the sat phone. So if you're thinking about communications, which is absolutely critical, I'll talk about that in a second. Go ahead and go to ldsprepper.com/satphone and get them before they're gone. I'll be right back. I'm going to go out and get a signal, and then I'm going to call my son. He's camping out in the sticks. I don't know if he's in a rainstorm right now, but we're going to see if we can get a hold of him.
Okay, so I'm just going to continue down this list with, let's see, what's on the list that Dave hasn't talked about yet under garden supplies. The extra ingredients that you need in addition to the micronutrients, the NPK, some Epsom salts, some boron, and gypsum. Those are all part of the Mittlighter gardening method recipes for the complete fertilizers. Also be good to have some two-way hose and some rakes, maybe some shovels, whatever you like to garden with. Have some gardening gloves, a sun hat. You know, if you're a gardener, kind of think through what you like to have with you when you're gardening, and make sure that you have plenty of those on hand. Tools and hardware. On our list, we needed to buy an axe. We needed to buy a hatchet. We were anticipating and as an additional method of heating our house. So what do we need in order to, from when we buy the wood to chop it down, make sure that it fits in the wood burning stove? We needed to get an axe, a hatchet, a wood splitting awl. Be good to have a limb saw. If there's a tree that goes down and you want to collect the wood and store it, you're going to need a limb saw. Maybe you won't have a chainsaw. So what other tools would you need? We put a bow saw on the list. We have not gotten that yet, so it's not checked. We bought a standard saw, the hand saw. Dave showed you that. Buy a tool sharpener. Do you have power tools? Do you have the oil and the lubricants that you need to keep those running? We thought it would be a good idea to stock up on things like nails, screws, hammer, screwdrivers. If you don't have the power tools for making repairs on your home or your property, you're going to need hand tools and nails and screws and things that you might need to have in order to make repairs or maintain your property. Something we experienced with Hurricane Ike, a lot of people in the area, trees fell on their houses. They had holes in their roofs. Do you have extra tar paper? Do you have extra shingles on hand for those kinds of repairs that you would need to make? Do you have tarps that you could put over the roof, keep the rain out or keep birds out, etc.? Did you get a hold of Ben?
No, so he's out camping with his family, and Adam set his alarm for 9:30 so he could turn on the sat phone, because he's not where cell phone reception is available, so it's just going to voicemail. So he hadn't turned it on. However, when we were in Houston, Hurricane Ike, first thing FEMA did is shut off all the mobile cell phone towers. Okay, the internet was down for 2 weeks. Cell phone towers were down for 2 weeks. They prioritized those cell phone towers for the first responders. So I don't know how many millions of people, it's the fourth largest city in the United States, were without communications, basically because most people just use cell phones. Having a sat phone could be critical if you need to get a hold of a family member, they need to get a hold of you. Schedule time, we're going to meet at a quarter after the hour, every hour, something like that, because you're not going to have these things running all the time. Keep it in an EMP bag, so it's protected from an EMP, and get them while they're available. I really don't know. Supply issues are becoming a big concern right now. I have a blue tape on here because when they send it to you, they give you your sat phone number, which is your international number, and then they give you a local number. I have a local 208 number on here, and I just don't want to show it to the world right now, so I have a piece of blue tape over here. But everything you need comes in the box. You're ready to go, up and running. So if communications is important to you, which is extremely important to me, I would recommend getting a sat phone and start kind of banking the hours so that you can have those available to you. So we need to move faster.
You need to move faster.
I know there's just so much to do. We don't want you to feel overwhelmed. Just get started. sit down and do what my wife and I did. We had a conversation, we made a list, and we started working down that list. You may need to reprioritize what you're spending money on, but start on the list. Okay, so what else did we got 4 sets of gloves from Home Depot. Talked about communication. We got the saw. We talked about water filtration, personal safety, growing food as if your life depends on it. I'm dead serious. The most valuable thing you will have is food. When we went to Costco, I checked. They have lots of rice. They have lots of beans. They have lots of, actually here in Idaho, they have big tubs of wheat, hard wheat that you can buy. All right. Prices are going to go up. Availability is going to go down. Not everybody's going to have food. You may have people come knock on your door. One of the things that they're not going to have, they're not going to have electricity. They're not going to have a stove. They're not going to be able to cook. Okay. What can you do to help them? So what did we do? Who doesn't like mac and cheese, right? We got some of these, right? Big packages of these. We didn't just buy one. So when someone comes to the door and they need help, can we help them? Could we give them all the ingredients to make cookies or whatever? No, because they don't have any way to do that. Can they boil water? Well, hopefully they've got some matches or something they can start a fire with. But who doesn't like mac and cheese, right? You need a pot, you need to boil water, and you get dinner. So something that we're considering is how do we help other people? Thought mac and cheese was a good idea, but also, do you know how to cook when there's no sun, when there's no electricity, when there's no gas, when there's no fuel? When how do you cook food? Well, I would recommend, and what we have is a sun oven. So another link here is go to ldsprepper.com/sunoven. ldsprepper.com/sunoven. Right now, we have a discounted pricing on the sun ovens. There are a lot of different solar ovens out there. The only one that I recommend, and the best one made, the one that you can absolutely rely on in winter, summer, spring, or fall, is the sun oven. Probably a lot of people here already have a sun oven. You don't need any supplies for it. You just put it outside. You face it towards south if you're in America, and you cook your food. It's going to take longer. It's like a slow cooker, but you'll be able to cook food. And we've cooked all kinds of things in our solar ovens. So if you don't have a way to cook off grid, that is a good way to do that. And let me just close these pop-up here. All right. So we have that. We picked that up at Costco. We picked up this at Costco. 150 pieces of chocolate candy. This is not for the grandkids. This is for granddad. This is for me, right? If you have enough for a year, that's for me. That's not for Sue. This is for Sue. Okay. What do we have these? She keeps these in her office, all right? And she was at another grocery store and she picked up several cans of Pero. She has a morning breakfast drink that she makes with Pero, and you've got
add herbs to it.
Herbs and coconut butter or something, so forth. So she didn't just buy one; she bought, a half a dozen or so. Okay. So if you're going to go camping for a year, or you're going out to the homestead for the year, what are you going to need to have with you? What we didn't buy was what? What didn't we buy?
I don't know what you're thinking.
Toilet paper.
No.
Right?
That's right. We did not buy toilet paper.
We didn't buy toilet paper.
We got plenty.
Do you know why? Because we have plenty.
We started years ago stocking up.
We have plenty of toilet paper.
So there's plenty of toilet paper out there for all of you who have not stocked up.
Yep. So when people were panicking and buying toilet paper, we had it from years ago. So you buy one thing, a case of this when you're shopping. Look for sales. What else did we pick up? Oh, at Home Depot. Oh, man. Okay, 16 penny nails.
Yeah, while you were out, I talked about having
Oh,
hammers and screwdrivers and some screws and some nails and some tar paper and shingles, and if something happens to your house and you need to make repairs, think through those things.
we spent a lot of time after Hurricane Ike on other people's roofs, helping them while it took months for their insurance companies to get things taken care of. But we were putting up tarps. We had the shingle nails. We had everything we needed. We already had them. And so while it took weeks or months to get help because the insurance companies were so overwhelmed, we as neighbors were helping each other because we had the items on hand. Okay. Picked up Gorilla tape. Who doesn't want Gorilla duct tape? All right. Best tape in the world. Let's see. So a lot of things here. We talked about growing food as if your life depends on it. Well, you have to have seeds to grow food. Make sure you go to LDS Prepper Store and get your seed bank. Okay, rat-proof, mouse-proof, insect-proof, highest quality heirloom seeds. That's our seed bank that we have here at our house. Get the one that's appropriate for your family for this year and maybe next year. I guarantee you, you're not going to be a great gardener out of the gate. Okay, you're going to need to learn how to water, how to feed, how to shade, how to live those 6 laws of plant growth that are in the Mid-Atlantic Gardening Course book. Get your seeds. When I talk to the seed supplier, they can't get any more seeds because of the drought. The seed growers aren't able to grow seeds. So 18 months is that when they estimated they'd be able to get more seeds. I don't, this is not an alarmist. I'm just trying to help you get prepared because when the time for action comes, the time for preparation is over. When you wake up one morning, like I did when I was in Mexico, and they had moved the decimal on the bank. So if you had $1,000 when you went to bed on Friday and you woke up on Saturday, you had $100. Those things happen. Those are real. You may wake up and there may not be any internet. You may not have any electricity. You may not be able to go buy gas. You may not be able to buy food.
Your credit cards are not going to work.
If our rule is this, if you can't touch it, you don't own it. If it's digital, if you look at your bank account and you got $50 million in the bank account and there's no electricity, there's no internet, or by federal law, the bank says that's our money, which is the law. It's not your money once you deposit into a bank. You may not have access or ever get to it. If you've got $50 million in Bitcoin, that's zeros and ones. If you can't touch it, you don't own it. So take that money, take that Bitcoin, and put it in something that you can touch. Think about, if there is going to be an earthquake and you knew there was going to be an earthquake in a week, or tomorrow, what would you go buy? We bought a bunch of batteries. And I told my wife, buy double. There's lots of batteries in the stores right now. That may not be the case. First, what runs out of stores? We've been in hurricanes, wildfires, floods,
Tornadoes.
earthquakes, tornadoes. What is sold out fastest? Batteries, water, food. Okay. The alcohol is usually left because people it's not a high priority. Get those things now and stay in your home where it's safe. What else? Light. Okay. I just bought these. This one here. These are little inflatable lights. They're solar, so it doesn't take any power. I don't have to plug them in, and they have different brightnesses. Okay, this is the brightest one. Super lightweight. You can just set these around the house. I bought 8 of these. Not too impressed with this particular one. This one here, I do like a lot. I inflated it and stuck it outside yesterday and charged it up. It has different colors of lights you can change. So if you want to change the mood in the house. But the thing I like about this really is that I'm able to charge up your iPad or your phone or so forth. And you say, well, those won't be available. Well, you know what? If you have some entertainment or some information, some books that you've downloaded to your tablet or your phone or whatever, your computer, and you want to charge that, you can do that with this, right? And you just stick this out in the sun, and you have light during the evening, and you can charge up your small devices. Can you grow protein? Okay, this is quail eggs. If you live in an apartment, you can have a cat or a dog. You can have quail. Quail are a pet, but unlike a cat or a dog, they produce food every day. Right now I have 7 hens, and I get 7 eggs a day, 1 egg a day, every day, 365 days a year from those hens. I have 2 males with those hens, so these eggs are fertile, and we do have an incubator so we can continue growing our flocks. So can you provide protein? It's going to, not everybody has where they can, have pigs or horses or cows or sheep or whatever. Okay, I'm trying to turn this light off. All right, so we need to move things out over here. What do I have here? What am I missing? I cover all this stuff. Batteries. Oh, we haven't got the medical. This is a kit that my wife picked up. You want to tell them about this kit?
This is a birthing kit. So everything you need. You have a daughter, daughter-in-law, neighbor, or yourself going to give birth and medical services are not available. This will help. Instructions and supplies that you would need. And after birth, do you have diapers? How many pallets of disposable diapers would you need to store for a new baby for a couple of years before they are potty trained? So instead, do you have cloth diapers? Do you have laundry supplies? Do you have household cleaners? And you could just kind of got to think through, what would life be like on a camping trip for a long term? And do you have those supplies? Do you know how to wash clothes by hand? Do you know how to wash dishes by hand? Do you have those kinds of supplies and soaps?
You have to be your own doctor, your own grocery store, your own power plant. We haven't talked about off-grid power other than the little lights here, but do we have portable solar generator? Yes. Go to ldsprepper.com/Titan. Did I type that one in?
Yes, you did.
Okay. And take a look. There's a comprehensive comparison between all the different portable solar generators out there. And availability is becoming an issue, has been an issue. Order yours, get on the line, get on that list and get it. We had someone come over this morning to give us a quote on a 40 by 60 building that we're building here on the property. And he told us he could build it when?
Next spring.
Next spring.
Almost a year from now.
So are we getting on his list? Yeah, we're getting on his list. Are we calling other people to see if we can get it done earlier? Yeah, we're going to call some other people too. But availability is the real issue. Get what you can now. Prioritize what you need to get now, and do it now. We had some questions. I want to go over some questions unless there's some other things here.
Something to think about if you are living in an apartment or in the city, and as services and food services disappear and food becomes unavailable, do you have a plan? Do you have somewhere to go? Can you go to a family member and live with them? Maybe out in the country. What do you need to bring with you so that you are self-sufficient and not draining their supplies? Can you provide shelter for yourself? Can you provide sanitation for yourself? What skills can you bring to that family that you're going to? Do you know how to grow and cook food? Do you know how to, repair skills do you have? What can you contribute is really important.
As much as your parents may love you, or as much as you may love your kids or grandkids, if you only have enough food for one person and 6 people show up and they're expecting for you to shelter them and feed them, you're just all going to die sooner. So if your plan is to go to your parents' house, or if your plan is to go to your kid's house, have that conversation with them and get it staged, get it ready, get your supplies there, get their supplies to your place, whatever it is, have that already prepared. Okay, this is and a way to protect themselves from those who might want to physically, violently take it away from them.
And so we know who's coming here. We know where we're going if we need to. And we know from our own experiences that community is really important. So, gathering together with other like-minded people, family and friends, is really critical too. Have those conversations with your neighbors and your family and your friends. Decide, how you're going to work and live together.
Yeah, you don't want to be broadcasting like we are, that you've got food storage and so forth, but we're also broadcasting that we have the capability and the training to protect ourselves, and we have security and surveillance systems. But I can't watch the security system 24/7. Soon I just can't do that by ourselves. So we have a community, we have family, and we will come together. And we've had that discussion. A good way to start that discussion is simply by saying, well, what do you think about this? Don't say, hey, I've got a year's supply of food. You guys want to get together? And just start asking questions from your neighbors and find out who's like-minded, because you do not want to be an island. You do not want to be the only person growing food. You do not want to be the only person that has resources. So there are some questions I want to get to. While I'm doing that, take a look at that, and maybe you can reply to some of these questions. You want to talk about your gardening, your herb brooks, because herbs are critical, could be life-saving also.
Right. What are you going to do if there's no doctor? Something to consider in your family, friends, neighbor community. Is there somebody there who has paramedic skills or medical skills or nursing skills? Is that what, can they contribute that and you help them in another way? That's a really critical part of any survival community. Is there a family herbalist? Is there somebody who understands the medicinal value of the plants that grow where you are? And that's one of the things that I started looking at after I got my master herbalist certification. Several people said, well, I don't necessarily want to go to an herbal school. I just want to know what plants are here that I can use for medicine. And so that's what I started doing, is what plants grow here. And we found over 75 plants on our property that provide medicinal value. And how do you keep all that information in your head? There's just no way. And so that's why I started creating reference manuals. This one is all about the medicinal weeds. I narrowed it down to 20 weeds that were growing on our property. I've since found more. But these, this is where I keep all the information of what I need to know to how to use those herbs.
Now, those weeds grow all over the world.
Yes, they do.
So it's not just Idaho Falls weeds.
Right.
So how to identify the weeds, how to harvest the weeds, whether you're using the flowers, the stems, the roots, and then how to what remedies can you make? Which remedies are best? Should you turn that into a tea, a tincture? Teas are easy. It only requires water, and the weeds come back every year. Bane of our life, right? But they have a purpose, and they can serve us if you know how to use them. What have you got in your kitchen pantry, your kitchen cupboards? Culinary herbs and spices are powerhouses of nutrition and medicine. And this reference manual is all about how to tap into that and use that. What first aid
first aid kit herbs. What would you like to have on hand for cuts and scrapes and bruises and stomach aches and constipation and the stuff that you really don't need to go to a doctor for? First aid. And a lot of these, several of these are weeds that grow here or around the world that you can use for first aid. So really good reference manual for first aid and how to use that.
And you can put these in pots and put them on your back porch or your patio. And you don't need to have 1,000 of these plants,
No.
just have a small, a little variety of whatever that you find that's useful in these books, and just grow them in your back porch. You can walk outside and you get fresh sage for your stew and fresh whatever for your meals, and have it for first aid and have it for, other needs that you have.
And then I've got Making Herbal Remedies reference manual, basic instructions for making teas, decoctions, the difference between the two, poultices, compresses, tinctures, oils, oil infusions, which you can turn into ointments and salves. All those recipes and basic instructions are at my fingertips in here. I refer to my manuals all the time as I need to make remedies.
You can tell them where they can get it.
Oh, yes. You can get these references.
These are all just for her. Sorry, this is what we have. Too bad, guys. She made these for herself and then thought, hey, other people said, hey, can I get a copy? So she's actually made them, and they are available.
ldsprepperstore.com.
And if you buy all 4 of those, you get a nice discount, free shipping. She also has a 5th one that she just produced. It's a digital book, and it comes with how many? Like 9 hours of class or 6 hours of class?
Yeah, I did a class in conjunction with this book. Sign up for the class and you get the book free. I'll be doing that class a couple of times a year. It was a really, really good class. I got really good feedback. And that's 3 secrets to choosing the best herbal remedy. So, we talked about, because there are lots of herbs out there that are good for coughs. For instance, how do you know which one is best for you? So those are the secrets. How do you narrow down what's out there to get the best herbal remedy for you? So there are some people who say, herbs don't work. The problem is they probably didn't pick the right herb for them, because herbs do work. The chemical constituents are there. They do what they say they're going to do. You just need to know which herb is going to work best for you, for what's going on in your body with your tissue states. So that's what that class is all about, and that ebook.
Someone just commented that honey is good. Yep, we have honey. We have beehives. We had beehives in Texas in our backyard, in our HOA guarded community. So they take very little space. You can get a lot of honey, a lot of benefit from having honeybees in your backyard. I highly recommend it. We have over 500 videos on this YouTube channel, ldsprepper.com. ldsprepper.com is where you'll find all my videos. Go there, take a look at those videos. They're all about being prepared. And literally, we spend more money on taking care of our cat and more time taking care of our cat than I do on the bees, and the bees give us honey. Okay?
Yeah, but the cat keeps the mice population down, keeps them from invading the pantry.
Yes. So the cat has a function. As long as that cat is functioning, we'll keep feeding it, taking care of it. All right, so let's get to some questions here. We're going to do this pretty quickly, but we want to address questions that were already posted here. This is Ms. Taz Christie. Mentioned yesterday, I just ordered a Berkey and extra filters from your store. Thank you very much. ldsprepperstore.com. Do you know when I can find the stand? The stand is temporarily out of stock from Berkey. They don't have them. They said it will be several weeks. As soon as those stands are available to me as an authorized dealer, I will put them back on my store, and you'll be able to see them, and you'll be able to order those. So thank you for getting the Berkey system. Thank you for ordering it from us. It supports us. If you feel that this information that we're sharing with you has value, then you can thank us by simply going to the store. We don't have a Patreon. All our videos are free. This is how you can help us, is by going to the store, getting Sue's herbal remedy reference books, getting the seed banks, getting the micronutrients. I'm telling you, I'm having a very, very difficult time getting these nutrients. I don't know how much longer I'll be able to have them. I'm trying to get as many as I can. I would not wait on getting the micronutrients or the Mid-Atlantic Gardening Course book. Go over there, get your 8-pack or more, multiples of 8, and your book, and get that while you can.
Can I just say,
Yeah.
before Berkey had stands, we got our Berkey before they had stands, and so I found a plant stand at Walmart that worked. They come in different widths and different sizes, and that's what we use to get the Berkey up off the counter to make it easier to dispense the water. So check that out in the meantime.
Yeah, absolutely. Or just get that. I mean, we used that in Texas. That was our stand. It was like a little wood stand.
No, it was a little, kind of looked like wrought iron, little plant
Oh,
stand.
that's right. That's right. Okay. Question: for our grab bags, we have a tradition of rotating them every 6 months at General Conference.
Good
Great
for you.
idea. Giving snacks and such to enjoy during conference. Love that idea. Do you have any such tips for keeping up on things like your list here? I feel like it can be otherwise overwhelming otherwise. I don't know that we have a system of keeping up. We just
An anniversary date, something that you do every year, something, a birth date, some date that you just attach to, that's the date that I'm going to go through our bug out bag or our get home bag or the emergency supplies, and check the food, replace what you need to. I like this idea of taking the snacks out of the bag and using them and replacing them associated with an activity. That's a really good idea.
I know on the first of the month, I refill the water in my solar panel battery bank. That's just something that comes up on my phone, on my calendar, first of every month. I just do that as a routine. So set up a routine. First of all, congratulations for having that, right? Having a grab bag that if something happens, an earthquake happens or whatever, a fire's coming, you can grab it and leave. That's one of the things on our list, is having a 24-hour warning, items that we have that we put in when we have 24-hour warning, and other items that we have when we have a 1-hour warning. So find a schedule that works for you, and congratulations for having that prepared. We purchased the micronutrient. This is from Linda Hansen. We purchased the micronutrient product and mixed as directed. It seems really most kind of oily, moist. Okay, so yes, that will happen if you're in a hot temperature or humid. So here on the instructions, it has a recommendation for a half a pound of perlite, and we put that in ours too, and that will keep the moisture out. So if it's already kind of moist and kind of oily, it's really not oily, it's just kind of sticky. It kind of turns into like syrup. There's no oil in it, it's all minerals. You may not be able to put perlite in and take that moisture out. So just use it. It doesn't change the effectiveness of it at all. But go ahead and add half a pound of perlite per 30-pound mix. And I did that this last mix, and it sat out in the greenhouse and in the heat and did not have any problems at all with clumping or so forth. So just follow those instructions that come on the bag. Okay, this is one that we did, something that Sue did while we were in Texas. This next one is by, I don't know how you pronounce that. Poupée W. How do you turn front lawn into food production crops without getting complaints from the HOA? We did that in our front yard.
Oh yeah.
in Houston, and
Yeah.
we had people come up to our house. They were so impressed.
Is that broccoli?
Is that cabbage? We had purple cabbage
We had broccoli and kale and Swiss chard, just edible greens growing in the front flower bed.
along with the flowers.
Yeah.
And instead of having a pine tree, which was required by the HOA, we had plum tree.
Yeah.
So yes, people were very impressed, and it was beautiful. So first of all, ask for forgiveness, not for permission. That's my experience with HOAs, and just do it. All right. Put some purple cabbage out there. Put some broccoli out there. Put some whatever you want to grow out there, and you can do it.
So,
Okay.
and we did turn the backyard into a lighter garden. And, how do you turn the front lawn into food production crops? Without getting complaints from your neighbor, just, incorporate your food into your flower beds, but in your backyard, put down cardboard and newspaper and build up from there. It's a lot of work to take out a lawn and start from scratch.
So someone emailed me about how to get rid of the grass because they want to convert their lawn to food storage, which I really recommend. And they have it's a really bad grass, crabgrass,
Quack grass, couch grass.
Anyway, it's people have it for lawns, but anyway, I suggested that you get a torch and torch the grass first, burn it, okay, and then put down cardboard and then you grow on top of that. So yeah, you want to do that. So first of all, thank you for thinking about making your food production in your front yard, but also put it in the backyard because people will walk by and just steal it out of your front yard.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's see, Pat Murphy. I got the LDS Prepper Gardening book right here, the Mid-Atlantic Gardening Course book, and the mineral micronutrients. Been using them for the last 3 weeks, and I am amazed. My tomatoes and peppers have taken off like a rocket. Thank you for everything you do. Thank you, Pat, for sharing that.
And for doing that.
And for doing it, yeah, because you're
not just hearer of the word only, but the doer.
And so you may already have a garden, but I guarantee you that your garden will transform once you start feeding them and watering and following these 6 laws in the book.
Yep. Start where you are and build from there.
If you have plants in the ground right now, take time today, order your micronutrients, order the book, and start feeding them so you get the nutrients from those plants. I would be interested in finding out what to prep to keep things cold without solar. Solar would be wonderful, but it's not in the budget. Completely understand that. I have a milk cow and would lose a lot of milk without ways to keep it cold. Yes, I understand that. However, that milk will become very valuable, and you'll be able to get a lot in return for that milk. We thought about propane fridge, but there's a very good possibility that propane will become hard to get eventually. Yes. Is there anything I can store? Yes. So someone suggested dig a hole in the ground. A large hole should be cooler. Yes. Go find an old refrigerator. Go to the junkyard, get an old refrigerator, dig a hole, bury the refrigerator in the ground, and then you have a very easy, and lay it down on the back, and then you can open it up like a lid, like a coffin, and that's your refrigerator. Dig a hole in the ground. The ground will be cool. The refrigerator will help keep it nice and cool. So I completely agree with that. Dig a hole.
And something to consider with food preparation. Learn how to cook just what you need to eat. Enough so that you get enough to eat, but you don't have leftovers that you need to store.
One thing you want to mention your food storage calendar.
My food storage calendar, that's on
LDS Prepper Store.
Yeah, and
it's a free download.
And a friend said that some people would find my recipes valuable, so I am in the process of making that into a cookbook that people could use as a reference.
It's a food storage cookbook.
It's a food storage cookbook.
How to take rice, beans, and wheat and make wonderful meals.
Make meals with it, yeah. So that'll, keep coming back, checking back, and looking for that. But that was one thing that we learned, or one thing that I learned when we went camping off grid for a week to test out our preps. Uh, I was cooking way too much food. We went from eating 3 meals a day and snacks, to 2 meals a day, and we were very satisfied. Didn't need all the extra food. We were busy with other stuff, and so
We also had a refrigeration issue. They were bringing an ice truck in every day or two, and we were buying bags of ice. You don't do that in a grid down situation. So
Right.
you need to be eating what you're cooking, and not having a lot of food that is going to go bad because you made too much food. So you need to practice how to, how
Yeah.
much to make and how to
You
make it.
really, yeah, the best way to know what you're going to need in a grid down situation is to take a week or at least a weekend and go grid down and make your own list of what you need and what you would do better, or make. I mean, we had 35 things that we learned from that
We had a big list
first week, big list, things that we would do differently.
that we have now done differently. Now, when you do this, when you go off grid for a weekend or a week, there needs to be harmony in the family. So I told my wife when I was in Texas that, hey, I'm going to turn off the power, I'm going to turn off the gas, I'm going to turn off the water, and we're going to see how good we can live in a week. She says, not while I'm here. So she left to Idaho. You wanted to say something in your defense, or?
No, it's just that first week of off-grid camping that we did, the first day, my son and Dave were trying to erect this huge tent, didn't have instructions, and and they were thirsty, it was hot, they were hungry, and they were kind of got at each other's throats. We should do it this way. No, we're gonna come over here, do this, and we realized, okay, we need to have water, and we need to have snacks, and we need to have food so that people don't get hangry, which is a combination of hungry and angry.
Hangry. I love that.
Hangry.
And entertainment for the grandkids.
Yes.
Yeah. So I had set up the tent before. We hadn't set up together. He's very smart. I love him as a son, and I appreciate him as a friend. He's a very smart guy. And he actually came up with some ways that helped. But we were hangry. So yes, you have to experience those things. So I have a complete video series when I went off grid for a week, and what an eye opener. This is a prepper who's been doing this for decades now, going off grid and realizing, hey, I need to make some improvements. So go to ldsprepper.com and just look through my videos on how to survive, or I forget what the video series was called, but I went for a week and I learned a lot. Sue was up here in Idaho, hot showers, fresh food, and I was learning a lot in Texas. Let's see. If you so someone says, how much gold, silver, and cash should you have saved on hand? Well, that's a great question, because you have on hand. Having $1,000 in the bank is not having it on hand. So if you are going to save gold, silver, and cash, have it on hand. Now, as we've seen other countries go through this transition, where what is going to be a global reset, as we've seen individual countries so far go through this process. Cash has value for a while. Gold always retains its value. Silver always retains its value. But what's going to be more valuable than cash, gold, or silver is food. Absolutely. The ability to produce and food, to grow food, was going to be more valuable. You'll get all your teeth taken care of. You'll get grain for your horses, whatever you need to trade for. If you have food and you can produce food, that's going to be very, very valuable. So if you
that being said, Dave Ramsey has some excellent books on being financially prepared, and in those books he talks about having a 3 to 6 month cash assets for 3 to 6 months of living expenses. You should just always have that on hand. If you lose your job, you've got 3 to 6 months of cash on hand to pay the bills until you can get another job and get income coming in again. That reduces a lot of stress in that whole process of trying to provide for a family and make ends meet and eat. And so that's just really good advice.
Yes.
That we have followed. Have that cash on hand for not necessarily for the global reset, but it just makes good financial sense to be prepared for the unexpected.
My wife and I were working at the same company when we were many years ago, and we both got laid off on the same day.
Yeah, here's your Christmas ham and your pink slip.
Mm-hmm. But we had assets, and so we made it through that. We had food storage. She took care of us. I went out and got another job. So if you don't have that reserve, things can be difficult. Also, don't expect that your church or your country is going to, all of a sudden show up with all this food for you. You may want to watch the video on how to protect your food storage from others. I think that's a very good video to watch too. Let's see.
Your type list says global rest.
Yeah, I changed that.
Okay.
If your list doesn't include items that can be used after a major CME, which is coronal mass ejection from the sun, you will be very disappointed. You may have just a few days before you realize how right this statement was. So CME, basically electrical magnetic pulse that will cause all electronics to stop working unless you've shielded them from an EMP. So you may have a portable saw that no longer works. And so what do I have? I have a post-CME saw. This does not need to plug in anywhere. Doesn't take batteries. It will cut wood. I have on here we had a list of getting an axe.
I talked about that.
And hatchets and those kind of things. You may be needing gloves, like we mentioned earlier, because you're doing a lot more physical work. So for
sun protection, if you're going to be out in the sun.
Yeah, not necessarily sun lotions or screens, but hats. Big hats, gloves, long sleeves. I was doing some volunteer work at the local airport here because we had a fly-in, and I'm a new pilot, and so I was volunteering with the group. And I had long sleeves and long pants and a big brim hat, and I did not get sunburned, and other people got sunburned, and they were lathering all these chemicals on themselves to protect from the sun. So I just chose clothing that would protect me. Okay. Jessica says, I've been trying to tell all these YouTube preppers think long-term, like 10 years plus. Yes. Start with a year, then expand that. But you're going to go camping for a year. You're going to go live in the cabin up in the mountains for a year. What are you going to need for a year? Why do you need a year's supply of food? So you can figure out in that first year trying to grow food, how to do that. And you have food that you can live off of because you have food storage. Tell you what, our food production really enhances our food storage. You need to have both food storage and food production. Go ahead.
Oh, no. Next one. I looked up gypsum, but can't figure out what you need it for.
Yeah. So gypsum is calcium, and so that plant, it's essential plant food. It's in the Mitlata Garden Course book. You use the gypsum or lime, depending on your rainfall, for your pre-plant mix. And that pre-plant mix is on page 52 in the book. Tells you how to mix it, how to use it, and so forth. I have a greenhouse here that it helps us to extend our gardening season. We actually can grow year round here. You don't need to have a greenhouse. You can grow plenty of food during the typical growing season, but you'll grow much more food much faster. We were growing corn that was like 72-day corn. We're growing it in
84, I think.
That much faster, 20 days faster, because it was properly fed and watered. So you'll be able to grow more food faster, more nutrient dense food, higher quality food. You'll control the availability and the price of it by growing it yourself. Okay. We're at an hour and a half, honey. Do we want to cover some more questions, or we need to jump off?
It's good to call it a day. We can always do this next week.
Yeah, we'll take a look at the questions. You guys have been awesome here. Appreciate all the thumbs up. If you liked what we've shared with you today, please take a second right now, give us a thumbs up. Please share this with your friends and family. Again, you don't want to be the only person in your church. You don't want to be the only person in your neighborhood or your community growing food and being prepared. You want a community of preparedness people. I drive down my road, and many of my neighbors, most of my neighbors, are prepared and are preparing even more because we openly share. We realize that we're kind of showing our cards here, but that's our passion, is to help us. We don't want to be the only survivors. Okay? We want other people to be survivors. We want other people to thrive. And we want other people to be prepared. And we want to build that community. Your most important preparation is spiritual preparation. Be good with your God and ask your Father in heaven, what do you need for your family, and how to help you with your resources. I do believe in the law of attraction. I do believe that when we put our minds to it and we put it on paper and we have that conversation, that the forces around us come together in our behalf and make things happen. So the reason why we have things on our LDS Prepper store is because those are things that we have found that have worked for us, that work really well. Get yourself a solar oven so you can cook year round. Get yourself some micronutrients and a gardening course book so you can produce your own food. Find out about the herbal books. Get a water filtration system. I have a video I put up. I have several videos on water filtration. A recent one I put up was how to choose the best water filter for yourself. I talk about all the different kinds of water filters, what they do and what they don't do. After spending all the time in research, we boiled it down to one. That's the Berkey with the black Berkey filters. It doesn't take electricity, doesn't take water pressure. We've taken it camping, long-term survival camping. It just goes with us. We have the bottles that we take with us when we leave the house. If you need non-lethal self-protection, grab yourself a flashlight while those are still available. Ham radio license is easy to get. It doesn't interfere with any of your Fourth Amendment rights. It is a great device to have. All our kids have them. We set up tower antennas at their houses. If you want to be able to talk to people on a regular cell phone, call them from your sat phone. I'm going to be flying, so this will be with me in the airplanes. I will be flying over areas that don't have satellite, that don't have cell phone service. When we go family camping, when my son and I go hunting, we'll have our sat phone with us. We'll be able to communicate with everybody, that whether it's a landline, a sat phone, or a mobile phone. All I can just say is think long-term camping. And just start buying stuff like you're going on a camp out. What's more fun than going on a camp out? So don't be stressed about this, thinking, hey, honey, we're going to go on a camp out for a year. What do we need? And what do we have on our back porch? We got a 16 by 32 army tent that we have set up more than once now. So
even the two of us together have set it up, and we survived the process.
Yep. Still married. And when we set that up, you had your kitchen all set up. We had our portable solar generator with us, so we had lights, and I made a DIY air conditioner. It was hot, and I have a video on that and how to make that. And so we really thrived in our survival camping and made it enjoyable. And if you are prepared, you shall not fear. So that's pretty much how it goes. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for taking time and having interest. I try to put all the links in the chat. I will put clickable links below this video so you can go and get the items that we talked about. My phone number, people say I'm nuts. My phone number is on my store. If I can help you, call me. It's there for a reason. I answer the phone. I don't have any employees that answer my phone. I answer that phone. So if you have a question about the micronutrients, or the gardening course book, or Sub's herbal manuals. She talked to somebody yesterday who had a question about herbs. We're here to help as much as we can. We're here to help you, to teach you how to fish so that you can eat for a lifetime instead of just giving you fish for a day. So God bless you. God bless America. Um, this is our passion. We have lots of videos on my YouTube channel. Take time to watch those. Sue has some great videos on herbs. And stay tuned because we will be
We'll be back.
We'll be back. And we do follow-up call, I'm sure with all the conversations here that we'll probably have a follow-up email, a video. Thank you so much. This is LDS Prepper reminding you, if ye are prepared, ye shall not fear.
And the backyard herbalist. What's my tagline?
Grow it.
grow your own. Make your own.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it. Get started. Have fun with it. Have that discussion. Make a list, and start the process, because it's better to start it now than it is later. When I bought those 16-penny nails, when we looked for them last Monday, they were out of stock. I bought those nails 6-7 months ago in Wyoming because they didn't have them in Idaho. If you see something, it's on your list. Get it now while you can get it. I gotta stop talking. We have to take off. Thanks so much. Love you guys. Have a great day. Bye.
Bye.